Everybody, it's Doom here from Dungeons of Doom Biscuit, and in the Crowshriek series, there is a Crowshriek tree, and I did make one for you guys, but there's also regular trees too. And so what I've decided to do is to show you guys an easy way to make trees, because when you have open plains areas, sometimes it's nice to have trees to help tell your story. So I have some sticks here from my giant bag of sticks. Yeah, I know, real sticks, right? Who'd have thunk? And what I want to do is kind of make some parts to have an interesting tree. Something like that. Okay, then I want to get my tree on a base. Okay, something like that. And I want to come down and drag some roots. And that's really just to sturdy this up. It's not actually, because I need roots. Because if you walk around outside, you'll see tons of trees with no roots showing. So there's one tree. Now I need another tree. This looks like a good candidate. Snip off the bottom. Salvage this top part here. I'm going to take that off. Have a knot on this tree. Get this piece here. I'm going to snip this to add some more structure. Let that cool for a moment. Then I'm going to come up here. I'm going to add some roots. And that's going to sturdy it up some. All right, so now we need foliage for the top of the tree. So there's tons of things you could do for foliage. You could use vine or clump foliage, or you could use sponges and sprinkle them with flock. There's just tons and tons of things you could do for foliage. But here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to break this up in two pieces, and then I'm going to, with my thumbs, tear some pieces loose, and I'm going to get each of these pieces situated to where there's no flat edges left, like that. And I'm just going to try to see if I can't make this do something like I want it to. Now, I have not done this before. This is just an idea. I always have tons of this foam that people give me, and I seldom have a use for it. Unless I'm doing sci-fi terrain, and I'm not really on a sci-fi terrain kick right now. We did one play test of the Tomorrow Comes Doom sci-fi system, and we've been having a lot of fun playing the fantasy version. And when we come back, I actually gave away all the terrain I made for the sci-fi stuff to somebody, a couple cities away that's a buddy of mine, for Warhammer. But I will be making more sci-fi terrain when I need it for my campaigns. Okay, so you're going to keep removing. Having big chunk pieces like this is better. I didn't have any big chunk pieces, so I'm playing it fast and loose over here. And you're like, oh, but you have all these little weird pieces. Yeah, I do, and I'm going to use those to make bushes, and you're going to love them. So I'm just trying to get rid of all the flat spots. Okay. So now I have enough for one tree, at least. There's no flat spots left. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make an indent in here in my glue gun with the hot, you know what I mean? Burn a hole in there, fill it with glue, and shove it onto my stick like that. Okay. Then I'm going to do the same thing on this side. I'm going to try to use my two largest pieces. Hold on, that's popping off. I'm going to try to use my two largest pieces to do those parts. So then I'm going to do the same thing with my smaller pieces. I'm going to figure out where I got to put a hole. Stick some glue in that hole. Stick it on there. Okay. Now I have a lot of spider webs here to play with, and I don't like spider webs. Alright, so for my last piece here, I'm going to kind of eye up where it goes. Oops. And do the same exact shit. Okay. Missed the hole. There we go. Now, to add some sturdiness, I'm just going to get a little bit of glue. Kind of melt and touch these pieces together a little bit. Just to strengthen that up. Where I can. And then where this piece where I glued on, I'm just going to drag my glue gun around. Kind of permanent that up. Alright. Now, got some spider webs, and since I can't use the minor burning hand spell, I'm just going to pick those out. And you could use tweezers or whatever to get those out if you needed to. I'm going to remove all my spider webs. Okay. Now, you could pre-prepare these pretty easily and glue them on later, and you could maintain your regular tree bark colors, and that would be perfect. I think that's what we're going to do on the other one. So let's get our tree canvas portion. Let's get the tree part done. Remember, this is clear. So you probably won't notice it. And I can use my, doing it with method number 2, I can get rid of my spider webs easier. I didn't have that many. Alright, so let's get some foam ripped up. And attempt version number 2. Now for version number 2, we have to make sure that we can, this is tougher than I thought. If I had a better foam, do I have better foam? What my think? Do I have better foam? I do have better foam. Okay, let me get something to put this in. I'm going to save these little pieces to make bushes out of. Never throw away sticks. Oh my gosh. I forgot about the static effect of this terrible foam. Oh, I hate it. Oh, it gags me. Alright. Foam cutter. Because I'm going to need to cut some slips. And let's get my foam cutter. It heats up very quickly. Don't you worry your ugly little heads. will be hot in no time whatsoever. I have some industrial foam that was blowing across the factory's yard. Now I will move this and show you. Can I bring this camera over here? This is a giant slab of factory edge foam that is used for packaging auto glass. And they left it outside to rot. And I took it. You can't really see me cutting, but I am just slicing through this. Oh, that was a mistake. Should have went down like that. Okay. Oops. Don't worry, I will have uses for this, so I'll just cut it up now while I'm at it. Alright, put my foam cutter away. By the way, this foam cutter was a little bit more, but I have a foam cutter that was literally $4, and if I hadn't lost one of the parts to it, it's the only one I would ever use. I paid $4 for it on Amazon, and I used it until I lost a piece. Alright, so let me take these and set them off to the side, and let's get busy. This is way sturdier and way harder to rip. This stuff is hardcore. This is not like the foam you get in a TV package here. Hey, Doom, remember that time you made a terrible mistake? Yeah, I'm doing it right now. I remember it well. Okay. All right, I need a stick. To hold this to work on it. This is going to be the bottom, the top, bottom of my tree. That's going to be the top. All right, so to prep this, we need a cup, This is a used cup, but I think that'll be okay. Need some green paint. Whatever color's in there is in there. We need some brown paint. We need some non-gloss Mod Podge. And we need something to mix it up with. I have a coffee stirrer over here somewhere. Oh, popsicle stick, that'll do it. Now, if your color didn't desaturate enough with that brown, you can try adding a little bit of medium gray, but I would be very careful about that. The brown should desaturate enough to where it's usable and functional. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to fish this chunk out. And that chunk came from whatever I had on this before. And I'm going to get some water from my dirty paint cup that I didn't wash. Yeah, that should be enough. Sweet. Let's get this and paint it up. And in theory, and only in theory, when this is dry, we should be able to dry brush this with another green and get a nice looking foliage cover for our tree. Now, you're going to have to let this dry independently of this process. You know what I mean? You're going to have to either air gun it or let it sit in front of a fan and dry. You know me. I don't want to be down here all night staring at paint drying, so I'll either go play a game or I'll dry it manually with my air gun. Probably not a good decision to use an air gun because it's just a waste of electricity, but it does speed things up. See, I am not immune to the fact that I am a hypocrite. I know that I'm a hypocrite. I'm just trying to do better. Please, everyone, give me a bunch of free money. I'm joking. There's no way to do that. I have not set apart a free money system. However, if you want to buy some miniatures from the website, we would be more than happy to sell you miniatures, and we will like that. But we do not want free money. My pride is still intact. Now, I will say, someone messaged me on Discord and asked me if they could buy one of my projects. No, I'm sorry, I can't sell my projects. For many reasons. One of which is if I make something and I don't give it away, I keep it for me. A lot of the stuff I make for my own use. So my ever-growing collection of stuff filling every shelf, nook, and cranny in the D&D room and the closet of the D&D room. And then local game stores sometimes appreciate some handouts. Or other people that run groups that I've run into or meet. And my older sons, when they are doing independent stuff outside of my games. My younger sons now collecting their own things. So I can't sell my stuff. Somebody that needs it is around. And that somebody might be me. We don't know. So just keep that in mind that, I appreciate that you like my stuff and some of my custom monsters, but I can't sell stuff because somebody needs it or I need it, and we just can't do that. So in part 2 of this, we'll paint all this up. I'm just showing you how I'm doing this, and I'm doing it like this. This is how I am be doing it. But you can hang out with me for a minute while I do it. It's very important that you don't miss and leave any white spots. You got to make the whole thing green or dark gray or black or whatever undercoat you're using, depending on how much painting you want to do. My hopes is that with using this undercoat the way I have, is that I won't have to come back and paint it again, except for with a dry brush. My thoughts are that this Mod Podge and paint will become a pretty decent coating on here and will protect it. I could be wrong though. Again, I've not tried this. Maybe some of you have. And you're going in your head, or you're yelling out loud, but I just can't hear you. Doom, don't do it. Doom, it's going to fail. Doom, oh no, I know what happens. Don't do it, Doom. And I can't hear. So I stupidly plunk along here, creating this beautiful foliage. Like this. Okay. Now for the ground. Hold on, let me set this off to dry. Okay. Nice. We're going to do the same thing. And we're just going to paint that all green. And then we're going to flock it later with glue and flock. So this green undercoat will just be green ground underneath green grass, and it'll create a different variation in color, and it'll look okay, I think and hope. Okay, now I did break that loose a little bit, and that could probably easily just be a dab of glue to repair that. And that dab of glue will sink in there and make that its permanent home. And it looks like it's going to be okay. Now let's look at this one. This one's going to be a little harder since I have it all glued together. Oh my gosh. So I was talking to my big, which was basically my sponsor in the fraternity I joined many 26 years ago, or longer maybe now. And we're still really good friends. We were goof-offs that liked to drink 40s and play D&D and watch a lot of Star Wars. We hit it off well, and we remained friends throughout our lives. When I was in the Army, we didn't talk, I don't think really, until I came back, and then we kind of started talking. But anyways, he's a good friend of mine. We're talking about Captain America and how dare anyone besmirch the name of Captain America. So my top 3 Captain Americas do not include who you would think. I never liked Walker, John Walker, U.S. agent. Never liked him. He's actually stronger than Cap. He's stronger than Steve Rogers. Did you know that? He's physically stronger, yeah. But I don't like him. No. Now, in the movies, I don't think they represented him very well. I think that they were just cheap tricking, but he's a character with depth. So he was already a strong guy who volunteered to undergo experiments to become stronger. He loved America, and I appreciate that about the character, and I love him for that. But he is not one of my top 3 Caps. He's actually very low on the list because it's very easy to want to become the hero when you're already strong and people are already rooting for you. But when you're the weak guy or the guy who doesn't have the advantage and you have to fight to become a hero, that's where I'm interested. So, my countdown for Captain America's is 1, Steve Rogers, because he's the OG and he's that little guy from Queens that stood up and fought to get in the military and volunteered for a program that could have killed him, and he was told it could have killed him, but he was willing to serve in any capacity. And I feel like in the first Avenger movie, they captured that concept very well, though I didn't really like some of the things about that movie, but that's okay. They captured the concept of what Steve Rogers was quite well. And I would say that Chris Evans, even though outside of movies, I don't agree with everything he says, I think that he captured that character in a very good way. My next favorite Captain America is Sam Wilson, which I'm not sure that I like the way they're handling it in the movies, but I'm not saying I dislike it. I feel like they've added some layers to it. I watch movies to be entertained, not to be taught political or social lessons. So when I saw the Falcon and the Winter Soldier TV show, I was unhappy with some stuff that happened there. And that's okay. We're allowed to have differences of opinions, and that's what makes us an exciting and strong nation. So don't think, oh, Doom's upset, we shouldn't watch it. No. Watch it. Enjoy it. Take it for what it is. It's an entertaining movie. But for me, I just don't like to be taught political or social lessons in my entertainment. I watch entertainment to get away from this shit I have to hear all day long, every day, from everyone I meet. People that want to argue with me about my political beliefs, that don't ask me what my beliefs are. They take a look at me and start assuming what my beliefs are. And I think it's annoying, and I'm tired of it. So in my entertainment, I don't want it. Yeah, I'm a hillbilly with a red beard. And you know what? I believe a lot of different things. I'm a human being capable of thought, and I believe that we should each think for ourselves, make our own conclusions, and decide what we think is best in our heart of hearts and in our mind and with the data that we have. And I think that every American should do that. I don't believe in one side or the other, but I get accused of that regularly because of my appearance. Not that saying that that I care that much about it, but it's frustrating when I'm trying to do my job and people are always trying to talk about the current political situations and stuff, and I just don't care. I don't think any of the politicians care about me, so I don't care about them. All right, so that's basically it. We're going to come back in part 2, though, and paint these up and do the bases. And we're going to attach that foliage onto the other tree. So I'm going to put my other branches and stuff away. Hey, do me a favor, though. Follow the rules of the algorithm gods. Do their bidding. Like, subscribe, share, hit the notification bell icon, and all that happy crappy. That makes this channel grow. At least that's what they're telling me. I don't believe it. Also, do me another favor. Tell someone you know that they did a good job about something. Find something of someone you know in your life that you're proud of, or you're impressed by, or you think did something amazing, and tell them they did so. Message your kid and say, hey, I love you, I'm proud of you. Or message one of your employees and say, hey, this was great, I'm glad you did this, thank you. Message your dad, hey, Dad, I'm glad you taught me this, or Mom, I'm glad you showed me this, or that you set this example. A sibling. Do me a favor and reach out and do that for somebody. Go to the website, buy some miniatures if you can. If you can't, no judgment, I promise. And come to the Discord and hang out and show us what you're working on. And some of you guys are talking about amazing projects in the comments. Come to Discord and show us. It's in the description. There's a link there. Click on it. It'll bring you to Discord. If it doesn't work, message me again and say, hey, it didn't work. We want you in there. We want to see what you're working on. I'm very interested in it. So anyways, yes, I have broke all my fingers many times. That's what happens when you're young and think that you're going to be a brawler. But anyways, so I'll see you next time. Thanks for watching, everybody.